Welcome to the 12 deck profiles and giveaways of July 2021. So what's going to happen here, as every other day in July here, we're going to have one awesome deck profile. We're going to talk about the deck a little bit, and we're going to have a giveaway associated with that. And then you guys will have basically a day and a half to get entered in. So typically we've done these before. They didn't get enough time to enter in. A lot of people didn't get the chance to see the video, so we're going to expand it out this time. So welcome to day one, Weary Traveler. I heard that you want some awesome Ash Blossom sleeves from Japan. So we're also going to have many other people that will be helping us out here. Gem is stepping up to also supply us with some cool stuff for these giveaways. So if you guys want to get in to win this, all you guys got to do is make sure you like the video. All right, make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. All right, and make sure that you guys leave a comment down below telling me that I'm the best. You don't have to tell me I'm the bestest. You guys just take a look at the deck, give some comments on it. If you have any requests for decks, always feel free to leave them down below. I'm not always going to be able to accommodate every single request, but on the next day video, which will be actually the 3rd, yeah, so start on the 1st and then go on the 3rd here, and you guys will find out who won these, and then reach out to me on social media, either via, Facebook or Twitter, and I will get those sent out to the winner. So easy peasy lemon squeezy. Am I right, guys? So let's dig into the first deck profile, shall we? Today we're going to be exploring Evilswarm as a viable deck choice going forward here for the 12 days of deck profiles. So, Evilswarm Ophion, this is going to be the centerpiece of this strategy. When this card has Exceed material, level 5 or higher monsters cannot be special summoned. Well, I really wish that this card could stop links, but unfortunately it cannot. And then it also gets the ability that you can detach one Exceed material from this card to add one infestation, spell, or trap card from your deck to your hand. Traditionally, you have a Lance, and you do have the ability to, well, shuffle a card from your field or hand back into the deck to draw a card. So, centralized on a 25-50 body, this is going to be the centerpiece for the strategy, quite honestly. If you can't really do anything else, it's because this is going to be the card that centralizes around the strategy. So, what else do we have to do to anchor down and make this deck be viable? Well, this deck has a very unique list of tools to kind of help you with these challenges. And the second tool that this deck kind of takes advantage of is this card called Evilswarm Origin. When this card is in the extra monster zone, all right, if a monster would be special summoned from the extra monster zone to the main monster zone, it must be summoned to a zone that this card points to. While this card points to a monster, neither player can target it with card effects, and it cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects. Once per turn, when a monster or monsters on the field will be destroyed by battle or card effect, you can special summon summon level 4 or lower Evilswarm monsters from the deck in defense position up to the number destroyed. So we get free floating protection here. We have a very unique effect to mess with the opponent's extra deck mechanics, and that's really about all we got going for it. And it's 2 Evilswarm monsters to make it. So in-house for the archetype, that is fantastic. This deck also has access to one of the most interesting cards in the game called Caster. It and his brother Pollux from Constellar. During the turn this card was normal summoned, you can normal summon 1 Evilswarm monster in addition to your normal summoner set. You can only gain this effect once per turn. The thing that makes this card so unique is it's not actually able to be negated. You're like, wait a minute, what? So if you guys know this or you don't know this, you can't actually stop the effect of it because it's one of the few cards in the game that sets a condition. That's why Azathoth was such a dangerous card to the game, because it also set such a high powerful effect because you couldn't negate it. All right, when you're able to set such an effect that just states it's a condition, I think there's 5 cards in the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! Technically right now that set a condition level on the scale, and they all basically create this massive plot hole scenario here. So back over here to Ophion. Ophion, basically the whole strategy of the deck, deny the opponent the chance to special summon and do those higher tier monsters. Now, granted, in formats where things like, you know, level 6, or actually, I things like Herald not being able to come to the field, no Ben 10s allowed, they can still make those key link plays, which will actually mess up your entire day. There's nothing that you can do about it. If this card actually said your opponent can't link to or higher instead of special summon higher, this card would be more effective. Maybe more Evilswarm support in the future, Konami, smile, would be very warranted. So we're going to pass on over here to the deck profile so you guys can kind of get a feel for this, but those are the real key points to the strategy other than being a control variant kind of help you along with your strategy. Alright, so this is going to be the Evilswarm list. I'll walk through some of the card choices here other than what we already emphasized as being the key strategy points for this deck. So we are going to need to bulk down on hand traps here. That's actually where these are going to come into play. These are actually going to give us the chance to play the game. So we have triple copies of Ash Blossom and Joy Spring. The cool thing with our deck is we don't really care about our graveyard. We have one or two interactions with the graveyard that really kind of matter, but being able to resolve a key one turn shifter to not let the opponent play the game is actually really, really good. Alright, the only card that matters is this, but we'll talk about that here in a little bit. So being able to hand trap your opponent and start getting into that lead dominating position is what you're really going to look for here. And of course we have the triple caster, normal summon caster, set the condition, gain the additional summon, and then summon any of your level 4s that you might have in your arsenal to make your key boss monster Ophion. It's so good. Now this is the one that actually might matter for if you're trying to set up and do other plays. You can only use each effect of Karikion once per turn. While this card is in the graveyard, while this card is in the graveyard, it was under this turn, you can normal summon one normal swarm monster with one less tribute. We don't care about that. You can banish an Evilswarm monster from your graveyard, and then target one Evilswarm monster in your graveyard. Add it to your hand. Also, this card gains the following effect. This turn, you can activate this effect. You can normal summon one Evilswarm monster. So say you go turn 1 here, you cast her with another monster, for example, and then you're like, alright, cool. You overlay them into Ophion, and something happens to, the 2 materials, the Ophion dies. You can next turn summon Karikion, banish one of your 2 materials, add the other one back to your hand, and then normal summon it, and then you are able to make another Exceed monster here for you to capitalize and do what you want to do. It's really good. We have triple Gibes and Mandagora here. If your opponent controls more monsters than you do, special summon this from your hand. It's a free extender. Now this is a one-of. This card used to be really good. During either player's turn, when a card effect is activated, or card, you can banish this card you control. During the next standby phase, return this card to the field, as long as it was banished by this effect, and it gains 300 attack points. Absolutely. It's just a free floater. The cool thing is, you do get some recursion like in your slower matchups, but if it's in a much faster OTK matchup, you get no value out of this. We are also playing 1 Dark Magician, 1 Red Eyes for the Dragoon package. And then our base vanilla here is actually a 1950. The cool thing I like to do with this is do consider playing Rescue Rabbit with this. This build is not opting to do that, which is fine. We also have triple copies of Allure of Darkness. Hey, turbo draw power. Now, one cool thing that we also get here is we're also anti-meta, and like I said, we don't care about our graveyard. That's why we got the shifters here. So we are effectively playing 5 cards that detour graveyard-based strategies. So we have the Dimensional Fissure and the Macro Cosmo so that we can get those interruptions. We have our 1 Pandemic here, which is one of the 2 search cards that we have that we can get off of Ophion. This one grants us protection from spell and trap cards for the turn. And we also have 1 Red Ice Fusion, and make it off the Verte. Then we have 1 Rhoda and 1 Upstart for searchability. And then our other trap card that we talked about earlier is this one. You can shuffle an Evilswarm monster from your hand or face up on your side of the field into the deck to draw or to add a Evilswarm monster. So any one of these toolbox pieces that you need, got access to it. We have the 1 macro, and then since we're basically a control deck, we also have the triple Solemn Judgments and the triple Solemn Strikes here. And the cool thing here is you can actually play triple Torrential Tribute here with this build. So if you've got Ophion running and you've got Pandemic set, you can Chainlink 1 Torrential, Chainlink 2 Pandemic, make your Ophion unaffected, and then laugh at your opponent as their whole field has now been blown up. It's absolutely adorable, the cool things that you can do with this. Now the extract down here, we have the 1 Steel Swarm Origin, as I mentioned earlier, the 1 Verte, 1 Link Spider so you can play around Nibiru tokens, 1 Boral Sword Dragon, OT Game Machine. We have 1 Tornado Dragon for back row popping, 1 time Thief Reader, 2 copies of Ophion, and one of our other toolbox pieces is Evilswarm Nightmare. So it's 2 level 4 dark monsters. When your opponent special summons a monster or monsters, except during damage step, detach a material from this card, change that monster to face down defense position. So this basically will out any real sort of threats your opponent can put on the field. It just puts them down face down for you to out next turn. Exciton Knight. Once per chain during your main phase or your opponent's battle phase, if your opponent has multiple cards in their hand and field, then you do a quick effect, detach one material from this card, destroy all cards on the field, except for this guy, and your opponent takes no further damage this turn. But hey, he is the equalizer. We have 1 Bahamut, same thing here, detach material from this card, target 1 face of monster opponent controls, discard an Evilswarm, and you do take control of that monster. This is a permanent steal, by the way. Then we have 1 Abyss Dweller, 1 Starving Venom, 1 Red Eyes Dark Dragoon, and 1 Mud Dragon. This is for your Herald matchup. Side deck here is just going to be covering everything that we need. So we have triple Nibiru, 1 more Pandemic, triple Super Poly, triple Evenly Matched, 2 Infinite Permanents, and actually triple copies of There Can Only Be One. This actually comes up quite a lot here, actually, considering we have Rock, Plant, with Thunder, Spellcaster. We have so many different types in this deck that being able to side this in actually just generates free advantage for us. So that is a walk through what we are doing with Evilswarm. So what do you guys think about this list? Of course, please leave a comment down below. Make sure you guys get it in so that you can walk away with this beautiful 2-pack of Japanese Ash Blossom sleeves. And of course, we will have many, many, many other cool contest prizes coming here in the future, along with some cool gem stuff for you guys. I will see your beautiful faces back here later on in the day for some more cool, awesome content. Have a good rest of your day, guys. Peace out. Thank you, patrons, for making the ride never truly end. Without you guys' support, well, I would probably be doing Truffle Shuffle videos for a living. Guys, please check out Vanquill40 for all of your Cardfight Vanguard content brought to you by Mquill40. And if you are looking to pick up singles, check out mquillgames.com for your trading card game needs. Thanks for watching, everybody.